Hi. I've been getting a lot of universal messages around abundance lately. It's a concept that I have been working with the last year or so. And what I'm hearing lately is how abundance is here. It's right in front of us, it's accessible to us at any given moment, it's waiting for us. And really, all it is our own limitations and our the limitations of our thinking that keep it from us or keep us from it. Like we are love. We come from love. We are source, divine, God energy. And that energy is love. And so it's really just that simple. Yet it's also so complicated because of, thank you, to the human condition. And so it feels like something that's so complicated to understand, but really, there are layers of reasons why we become closed off to this notion of love and love being everywhere and in everything, including us. And there are things like living in fight or flight, which we are encouraged to do more or less. It's about sort of living in this survival mode and storing trauma. It's related to social conditioning, and it includes the indulging of fear, which is also, it's a conditioning response, a conditioned response to cling on to and run with fear versus letting that sit aside and step into love and understanding that love space. So what if you decided to heal today? What if you took a moment to really look at what healing could mean for you and just open up to that idea a little bit and get curious about healing? Imagine what your life could look like 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, if you started the process of healing today. Now, lots of us have a focus on healing and are working through those steps and patterns and all the fun things that come with that path. And it does feel daunting. It can be overwhelming. It can be stressful. It can be yucky and messy and feel like crap. And it's not necessarily a fun thing to do. But what happens when we heal is we release old, negative, toxic energy. We release that stored energy of trauma in our bodies out. And now, once that energy is gone from our bodies, we have room and space to bring in more of the light and love energy, more of that sort of source and divine energy that's available to us at all the time. And it's something that's going on right now. People are waking up to realizing that there is a need for healing. Now is a very prominent time for people to be shown their shadows and shown their patterns and understanding like, wow, this isn't really quite working for me. So how do I move to the next thing? And really what I'm seeing as I look around in my world is it's about healing. And so now is the time for healing. If you're feeling that and you're hearing it around you and it's this sort of recurring messaging that you're getting, then it's probably time to start down that path. More and more people are deciding to do the work around healing, and it's really encouraging to see. So I think it's also important to know and realize, really internalize that you are not who your trauma taught you are. That is not you. You are, parts of you have been hidden away and repressed and silenced because of trauma that you've experienced. And that looks differently for everybody. But what happens is as we go through life and these traumatic circumstances occur, as they do, we are really good at pushing them down, pushing them away, pushing the parts of ourselves away that speak to that trauma or that we maybe internalized got us into that trauma to begin with, so that we can move through functioning in the world without allowing that trauma to occur again. But what we often don't do is feel through the trauma and process the trauma and go through the healing of it as it's happening or shortly after it's happened. We tend to figure out how to numb ourselves, how to get past the most painful part, and then move on with our lives. What happens over decades and years or decades of storing this trauma is it becomes like layers, like sediment over and over again. And then one day we may wake up and go, oh, I want to heal. And so then it becomes this process of peeling back layers and healing this thing and then feeling like you've healed there and then moving on to the next thing and healing there. And then sometimes you feel, you get this messaging like, nope, you need to come back over here and heal here more. And it can be so exhausting, and you can feel so jaded after a while because you're like, well, but I did that work. I healed that area. Well, that's okay. You did some healing there, and then you came over here and you did some healing, and it's okay that you come back over here and heal some more. Those are layers, like sometimes when you see a real nice stalk of celery on a bunch of celery, and you're like, oh, I want that one. But that one can't come out till you take the one on the outside off first, right? It's the same kind of thing with healing. You got to get out the outside layers first and work into the inside layers to get at what you want. But it's such a beautiful process. And at the end of the day, it's so worth it. So doing the work in a way will free you from yourself while bringing you back into your authentic self. And it's such an amazing thing to experience and to see other people going through right now. It'll help you shift your perspective, and it'll allow you to focus on your real priorities rather than the priorities that you were told to cling to or taught to cling to when they maybe don't align with yourself. And so aligning with who you are in all of your wholeness and all of your enoughness is really all that needs to be done. And try that alignment thing. It's a bit tricky, but alignment is beautiful. Once you are in alignment, everything flows. And give it a try and see how your life changes. Peace and love.